Everyone looks at this painting and sees a simple portrait of a boy and a doll standing before a glass door. They whisper about the curse. They talk about the nightmares. But no one actually looks at what is happening inside the glass itself. Most people miss the fact that the glass is not reflecting the room at all. It is reflecting a liminal space that shouldn't exist. Look closer at the boy's eyes. They are not directed at the painter. They are fixed on something hovering just behind your left shoulder. This is the first layer of the deception. The artist Bill Stoneham claimed he was painting a memory, but the geometry of the background proves he was documenting a ritual. Notice the hands pressed against the glass. They are not reaching out to open the door. They are trying to keep something out. The doll in the image is not a companion. It is a sentinel. If you count the number of fingers on the hands, you will realize they do not belong to human anatomy. They are far too many, and the joints are twisted in ways that suggest a desperate struggle. The most chilling detail is the small device in the doll's hand. It is not a toy. It is a light harvester. It is feeding on the energy of the boy. You think this is just paint on a canvas, but it is a vortex. The door is not a door. It is a permanent tear between our reality and a place where children go to be forgotten. Look at the darkness behind the glass one more time. It is deeper than it was a second ago. The second layer of this nightmare reveals itself when you study the doll's posture. It is tilted at an angle that defies physical balance. It is not standing on the floor. It is being pulled downward by an invisible gravity. Look at the shadows stretching beneath the boy's feet. They do not align with the light source coming from the glass door. They point toward the center of the room where absolutely nothing should be. This is a deliberate manipulation of perception. The artist intentionally warped the shadows to create a focal point for an entity that the human eye naturally ignores. If you trace the shadow lines back to their origin, you will find a void that creates a sense of vertigo. Why would a sane man paint a space that makes the viewer feel sick? Because it is a hunger. The room depicted is not a living room. It is a tether. Every time someone looks at this image, they are reinforcing the connection between our world and theirs. The doll is the keeper of this connection. Notice how its face is aged while the boy remains frozen in his youth. The doll is not a toy. It is a vessel. It is aging in place of the boy. The boy is trapped in a moment that never ends, while the doll slowly absorbs his life force. You are not looking at a painting. You are looking at a crime scene captured in oil. The tragedy is that the boy does not know he is the sacrifice. He thinks he is playing a game. We have reached the final layer. And this is where the truth becomes dangerous. Look at the glass door again. Those hands are not just pressing against the glass. If you observe the palm prints, they are forming a pattern that matches ancient sigils found in records of forbidden spiritism. These are not human prints. They are markers. The entire painting acts as a prison wall, and the glass is the lock. The boy is the key. Stoneham did not just create a piece of art. He opened a doorway that he could never close. There is a specific frequency in the colors used in this painting that triggers a primal response in the human brain. It is the feeling of being watched when you are completely alone. That is not your imagination. It is the recognition of a predator. As you watch this video, the entity inside the glass is watching you back. It is waiting for the moment you look away so it can bridge the distance between the canvas and your room. The curse is not a myth. It is a biological consequence of observing something that was never meant to be seen by living eyes. You have looked too long. You have seen too much. And now the connection is complete. Do not turn around. Whatever you do, keep your eyes on the screen until the very last frame. Because as soon as the image fades, you will realize that you are no longer alone in your own house.